welcome to the new chapter of your life. As I'm filming this is the beginning of July. It's the first week of July. I was meant to film this on July 1st, but we're filming it on July 3rd instead. But nevertheless, it's never too late to start on your dreams. So this video is all about how to have a main character glow up and how to achieve your goals for the next 6 months. So if you count the months up from now to December, it's 6 months. In 6 months, you can make a huge amount of change when it comes to you and your goals, right? And you can have a huge main character glow up. And what is a main character glow up? Because we say this a lot in kind of a slang thing, but what is the true meaning of a main character? Which means you are the main plot, you are the main story, and everything kind of just revolves around you. You're the universe. Everything basically just revolves around you, and you are the main source of the story. And so if that is the case, if you are the main source of the story, do you want your story to, if someone was watching your story, do you want it to be mainly you lying on bed, scrolling on TikTok, not really having much of a character growth or a character climax, or just any kind of pivotal point where you see a difference from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? There's no growth within the character. Do you want that for yourself? To not have just any real change happen for the next 6 months? Or do you want to have that glow up where your mindset's different, where you've experienced new things and you gain this knowledge about yourself, and exciting and interesting things are happening to you? I want that for myself. I want to have a huge main character glow up where I'm not the same person that I was in January, that's for sure. So I've had a huge glow up within my mindset from January to today, and so I can only imagine if I keep working on myself where I'll be in December. And the thing is too, that a main character glow up doesn't always have to mean external. You don't have to change your hair color, you don't have to change your external appearance. It could also mean internal, but we're mainly talking about goals, because we're not talking about beauty or anything of that. We want to have a main character glow up and achieve our goals. So it means we're setting a plan, we're setting goals, we have something that we're going after, and we're going to achieve it. And that's what I mean by main character glow up. So kind of our environment is going to have a glow up, not really much of ourselves, except for the fact that we're going to be changing our mindset. But our environment is going to change, and the way that we process things are going to change, and the way that we go after our goals is going to change. So like I said, we are in the last 6 months of 2024, and the last thing that I want to do, and I'm more than sure if you clicked on this video, the last thing you want to do is waste another 6 months. Because if you had set out goals for January and up until this point you have not at least attempted to achieve them, you've procrastinated, or you're just kind of going in and out of your goals, then this video is perfect for you, because we're going to go step by step on how to actually achieve your goals and how to actually achieve that main character glow up. So it's important to have time management, prioritization within yourself, and understand that this next 6 months is going to be a point of sacrifice. Okay, before we get into it, just understand that this is going to be a point of sacrifice, and it's not going to work unless you do. Okay, we hear that a lot. It's not going to work unless you do. But no, truly, it's not going to work unless you do, because no one else is going to sit there at 5 a.m. waking you up. No one else is going to be there doing the things that you want. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on this breakdown on how to actually achieve your goals, because up until this point, I've mastered a little bit of consistency and discipline and determination, and I'm like, okay, if I just hit it even harder for these next 6 months, I will be out of this park where I really want to be. So if you guys are enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and please follow me on my free accountability group called the Committed Collective, where we talk all things goals and I give you guys motivational pep talks, productivity tips, and I'm hoping by the time I get to 50 followers that I'll start going live there on a weekly basis and just hang out with you guys and get to know you guys a little bit more. So right now we have about 16 members, so I'm so happy for everybody who's joining. Like, it's so crazy that people actually are joining the Facebook group. But if you want to join over there and discuss all things goals and all things glow up and all things main character-ish, then please join the free group over on Facebook. It's called the Committed Collective, down below. And also please check out my website where I have my first ebook, the Committed Collective Workbook. Can you see there's a thing going on? And it's a guide on goal setting and creating systems and milestones for yourself so that you can actually achieve your goals. So let's go ahead and get on to the first thing of this video. Alrighty, so step 1 to having a main character glow up and achieving your goals for the next 6 months is to have your main goals written and ready to go. Okay, we're still in the beginning of July. By the time I upload this, it's going to be July 4th. I'm uploading this tomorrow. Today is July 3rd, okay? So you're not missing out on much. I promise you. It's only been 4 days. But have your goals written and ready to go. By this, I mean figure out what it is that you want. Write it down, okay? This is why I love my Committed Collective group, because I'm consistently talking about every single week, like, what are your wins, what are we working on, how are we going to achieve them. So if you need a space for you to be able to write things down or have accountability and have somebody kind of like prompt you, then that group would be perfect for you. But nevertheless, you can write these down on your phone. I do it all the time. Write it down on your phone, write it down in a journal, write it down on a sticky note, post it on your freaking forehead if you need to. Write your goals down and have them ready to go, because we're going to be diving into having a plan, changing our mindset, and figuring out what exactly is the reason why we can't commit. What is the reason why we can't be consistent? What is the reason why we can't be disciplined? I'm going to teach you that in this video. But we need to have a place to go first. First and foremost, before we even figure out the rest of the stuff, we need to figure out where the heck we're going. Because there's no point of creating a plan, there's no point of creating a strategy if there's no main focus, right? We need to have a main plot. What is the plot of your story for the next 6 months? To give you an example, my main plot for the next 6 months is to have a new product launch by November, December. That's kind of like my deadline for myself. Have a new product for November, December. Become monetized by December with my YouTube channel. And then also lose 20 pounds. Okay, those are the 3 main goals. I always say to have 2 goals. I have 3 because I've been able to kind of juggle my 2 goals in a way that I'm actually able to achieve them and not fall behind. That's why I'm adding 1 more. But if you're new to this, I always say start with 2 goals. Okay, so you're gonna have your main focus of your goal. The main focus is going to be the one that is going to be taking majority of your time. It's going to require so much deep work, so much like of your mental load. That's going to be your main goal. That's going to be your main plot, right, of your story. You're going to have that. For me, it's my YouTube, because it takes a lot of time for me to script my videos, which I scripted this video. It takes a lot of scripting. It takes a lot of time to film, and it takes a lot of time to edit and upload these videos. So that is my main focus, but there's only so much I can do in one day. There's only so much I can script. There's only so much I can film. There's only so much I can edit. There's only so much I can upload. So at some point there is a cap within my day. And I've been able to time manage myself to be able to consistently upload. And so that's why I say, like, I've managed to figure out the skill of time management. That's why I'm adding a 3rd one. But have a main focus where it's going to be taking a lot of your time. Not to give you kind of like an example of something that would take a lot of time versus what's not going to take you a lot of time. The first one would be like if you're trying to write a book. That's going to take a lot of time for me, because you need to figure out your main plots. You need to figure out how to write your book, how to like you need a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of focus for you to write a book. Or if you're starting a business you have to get it from the ground up. It takes a lot of time and effort and energy. So that's going to be another thing that's going to be like a bulk of your day. Another thing is, like, if you want to become an influencer and creating content, like, that's going to take a lot of your time too, many hours. So have your main focus, your main plot. Now, I say to always have a second goal because, again, like I mentioned, there's only so much time that your main goal, like you can work on your main goal before you're like, okay, I finished, now what? And because creating momentum takes patience, I always include a second goal. So when you're not working on one and that's kind of just like working itself out, you have a second one. You have a second goal that you can revert to and focus on afterwards. After, like for me, after I finish filming for today, after I finish editing and uploading and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, I finished my video. Like there's only so much I could do. I could film a lot, but there's only so much progress I can make in one day because I have to wait for the views to come in. I have to wait for the subscribers to come in. That's going to take time. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a second goal so that when I'm not, while I've worked and done everything I needed to have it uploaded and ready to go, and that's like taking its time, I have something else that's occupying my time, and I'm not worrying about like, am I making progress, like blah 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 blah. I'm not too much in my head and overthinking my first goal. So I have my second goal where it doesn't, like, you don't really need a lot of time. It's really just like only a moment of your time where you focus on it, and then once it's done type of thing, you know what I mean? So an example of that is, for me, is working out. You only can make so much progress when you're working out, when you're trying to lose weight. You go to the gym for an hour, and then once you're done. That's it. Like literally an hour of your day, that's basically nothing. So you go to the gym for an hour, and then you're done. The rest of the day is you, at least for me, is having a caloric deficit and not eating a lot. And that's only so much, again, that's only so much you can do in one day. So I'm focusing, so while I'm working that out, while that goal is working itself out, and it's like only so much I can do in one day, because it's not like I can work for 2-3 hours out. It's not like I could work out for 2 to 3 hours and then lose 5 pounds in one day. That doesn't happen. It takes time for you to see progress. So that's why I say to have a second goal, because if your main goal is to lose weight, there's only so much you can do throughout it. And so while YouTube takes majority of my day, I don't focus so much on the fact that I'm not losing weight fast enough. I can spend my days waiting because YouTube has my main focus. And I'm not focusing too much of, I'm not losing weight, I'm bored, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm not thinking so much about me losing weight, because again, YouTube has my main focus, because it takes majority of my time. While my my working out stuff, me losing weight, that's kind of working itself out. So I have two things where they're gonna work themselves out. While I'm not working on one, I'm working on the other one. And if I'm not working on one, then I'm working on the other one, you know? Like, this is why I say to have two. So why I'm bringing in 3 is because I was able to manage those 2. I was able to lose 10 pounds, and I've gotten my YouTube channel up to almost 400 subscribers. So I have 2. And so now I'm implementing 3 because I'm like, okay, I can time manage and I can do this. So, but for you guys who are just starting out, start with 2. One that has majority of your main focus, and one that's just like, you just do it in the moment and then it's done. Like, you don't have to worry about it later. It is what it is. Like, you can only work on it for 30 minutes. You can only work on it once a month. To give you an example of like freedom, I guess, goals where you don't have to have, there's only a set amount of time that you could do something. It'll be like paying off debt, right? You can only make so much money in a month to pay off your debt. Working out, there's only so much you can do about working out so that you can lose weight. Things of that sort, where it's like only once a month type of thing, only twice a month you actually work on that goal, only 1 hour of your day you actually work on that goal. If you're not eating, you know, you're not actually actively working on losing weight. You're just waiting, kind of thing. So something that's like doesn't really need a bulk of your time, doesn't really need a lot of main focus. Just like whenever you're in it, it's done. Like, there's nothing else you could do about it. That's what I mean. So have your main focus, and the one that's just like, oh, I'll work on it, and then that's it. Like, that's it for the rest of the day. That's it for the rest of the month. Okay, so have those things written and ready to go. Think about it. Think about it for the day. Think about it for the rest of the week. Just have them ready to go. What is your main focus, and what is your side quest, essentially? So the next thing, once you have those ready to go, you're going to strategize, and you're going to strategize your time and your action. Okay, so we need to figure out where in our day our goal is going to fit. This is where time management comes in, and this is what I figured out for myself and how to actually have time management. So we're going to time block our day, and I will post an example of my time blocking of my day. So you start off with the non-negotiables, the things that you get done every day, like going to work, driving to work, driving back home, picking up your kids from school, from daycare, from wherever. What are your non-negotiables? What are your things that are set in stone that you have to do every single day? Nothing like chores, nothing of like doctor's appointments or anything like that. It's every single day set in stone. Like, this is the time that you have to clock in, these are the times that you have to clock out, these are the times that you have to drop off your kids, these are the times that you could drop off, you have to pick up your kids, right? What are the things that are set in stone? Your meetings, your whatever the case, set in stone. Put them on a timesheet. From the time that you wake up to the time you go to bed, what are those set in stone time? And then next, once you have the set in stone times, what are the things that are kind of like, I have to do this on a daily basis, but if it doesn't get done, my day is not ruined. What are the things that you have to, things that you can get done in the day, but if it doesn't happen, like, it's fine, that's not the end of the world. Like, if you don't clock into work, you get in trouble, right? But if you don't wash the dishes for the day, like, no one's gonna get you in trouble unless you live with your mom. But you're not gonna get in trouble, you're not gonna get fired, you're not, like, nothing bad is really gonna happen to you if you don't wash the dishes. So have that, put that in your time management, put that in your calendar as kind of like your chores, like not set in stone, but like just have a time for chores, for whatever chore it's gonna be, whether it's cleaning the dishes, cleaning the restroom, whatever, right? Have that kind of there. And then it's left over. See the time that's left over. Where can you fit your main focus of your goal? And where can you fit your goal where it's like, I don't really have to put so much thought into this, but it's gonna get done type of thing. So if it's paying off debt, then that means that only maybe, depending on when you get paid, there's only twice in a month where you actually set time apart for budgeting and paying off that debt. Or if you're working out, you know, there's a set time where you're gonna go to the gym, and then, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you just decide, you just have a meal plan of like what exactly you're gonna eat. So kind of have those, like, figure out where you're gonna set those in your schedule. And so once you have that, right, once you have your goal, and once you have like, okay, I know exactly where I'm gonna work on my goal, where in my day I'm gonna work on my goal, the next question is, what are you gonna do during that time, right? Your plan, your actionable step, what exactly are you gonna do during that time? So I always say just have one actionable step that's going to create a lot of momentum. For me, in order to become monetized, I have to film and I have to upload. So my one actionable step that I have to take every day, it's 3 options: scripting, filming, and uploading. But uploading and filming are kind of always on the same day. But every single day, I'm either scripting, I'm either filming, and I'm uploading. One actionable step that's going to create the most momentum, because if I'm not filming and I'm not uploading, no one's subscribing. So those are my one actionable step. And then for my other goal, for me losing weight, my one actionable step is going to the gym 3 times a week. That's literally it. And then the other days that I'm not going to the gym, or I guess I am, I'm just on a caloric deficit. I'm not eating as much. And that's literally it. So think of one actionable step that you're going to be taking every day. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but again, it has to be something that's going to create the most momentum. That is how you strategize your plan. And you prioritize. That's another part of the strategy. Strategy is just prioritizing, figuring out what you're going to prioritize in your goal. I mean, what you're going to prioritize in your day. So for me filming this video was my priority for today. Thankfully I had 30-minute slot, so I'm just like, instead of me watching a YouTube video that I really wanted to watch, I'm creating a YouTube video. So I prioritized this because I knew that once this got done and ready to go, I can watch that video after I'm done with this. So I knew once I got this video, new location check. So I had to go use the restroom really badly in between my sessions. So I had to go into the parents' home and be like, can I use your restroom? And then just started session. So I am now here at my next session and I have a couple minutes. I have about 15 minutes before then, so let's get on with this video. Okay. So week 1 and week 2 are going to be vastly different, because in week 1 you're going to be the most ambitious, the most determined, driven, disciplined person you would ever meet, right? Because you're at the start of your journey. You're going to be the most motivated. And just like everyone says, motivation dies out. Okay, there's only so much you can be inspired by, there's only so much you can be motivated by. So the first week you're going to be hitting all your marks, you're going to be hitting every single action step, you're going to be showing up for yourself, you're going to be consistent, you're going to be like, wow, I got this down, I'm a changed person, this was so easy, well, why didn't I do this before? And then week 2 hits, right? Week 2 hits, you've been getting up at 5 a.m. every single morning, you're tired, you want to procrastinate, you want to be lazy, you're putting off everything. And so week 1 you and week 2 you are going to be so different, because week 2 you wants to be the old you, which is a person who's not disciplined, a person who's so incredibly lazy and such a procrastinator. And this is what I mean, that these two people are going to be so different. However, we don't want to have the mindset of week 1 us, who's the most motivated. We don't want the mindset of the person who's in week 2 just super lazy, doesn't want to do anything, and just wants to put everything off. And it's like, do I really want to get up and go work out at 5 in the morning? Do I really want to budget out my money so that I can pay off this debt instead of going shopping? Do I really want to create this content instead of watching that TikTok and spending hours and wasting my time? Do I really want to do these things? We actually don't want to be either one, contrary to belief. We want to be week 12 us. And who the heck is week 12? Week 12 is a person who has been grinding their butt off every single week, showing up, doing the work, creating momentum. Week 12 us is not the most ambitious person, but the most driven person, the most disciplined person, because they've been doing it every single week. They've been showing up every single week. We want to have that mindset. And who the freak is that person? Week 12, just think about it. If you've been doing this for the past 3 months, getting up every single day at 5 a.m. to go work out. If you've been budgeting for the last 3 months to pay off your debt. If you've been uploading and editing and creating content for the past 3 months consistently and posting every single day, what do you think week 12 person would look like? Because we could think about, oh yeah, us in the future, and that's like way too far off, right? A year from now, that person, that's way too far off. Or like, I don't know who that person is, but think about 3 months from now. That's such a huge amount of like chunk of time, but it's so like close to us that we could still imagine who that person could be. That's not a year from now, it's only 3 months from now. And if we're talking about 6 months, just think of it in a quarter. How much can you get done in each quarter, right? Because we just entered a new quarter, which is July, August, and September. That's quarter 3. So think about, in 3 months, who would that person look like? What qualities and skills does that person have that I currently don't have, that week 1 and week 2 person doesn't have? Again, they have the winner's mindset. They've been grinding for the past 12 weeks to get to where they're at. So that mindset is a winner's mindset. It's the person who, no matter what, they're going to show up. No matter what, they're going to be like, I'm just going to continue putting in the work because there's nothing else for me to do. There's nothing else for me to do other than just doing the work. Like, it's week 2 person is getting tired of making the same move, because that's what it is. Every single day you're doing the same stuff, because that's how you're going to create momentum. That's how you know you're making progress, when you're showing up in the same way every single time. So you're showing up for yourself. Week 2, you already know the routine, and so you get bored of it. You're like, I really don't want to go to the gym and lift weights and push myself. Like, you know the position you're putting yourself in. You know the pain of what the work entails. You know exactly what work needs to be done, and it's hard, and so your brain doesn't want to do it. Your brain is like, I already pushed myself for 1 week to do this. I don't want to keep doing this. But here is the mindset that I always switch. So there's 2 mindsets. First one is, I don't want to do this. When you're thinking about the work that needs to be done, I don't want to do this. The second thing is, I'm just going to get it done. So there's a difference between the 2. They have the same tone. They're like, I'm tired of this. I don't, like, the mindset is I don't want to do it, right? However, one of them has, the difference between one of them is that one of them is taking action. Because when you say, I'm just going to get it over with, it entails that you're going to create an action. Even though you don't want to do it, you're just going to do it and get it over with. And so that's the mindset that you have to change for yourself. That's what you have to tell yourself when you don't want to do the work that you already know you have to do. Just say, I'm just going to get it over with. Because once it's over, it's over. You don't have to do it again until the following day. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be like, oh my God, am I ever going to get what I want? Because you're putting in the work consistently. And the thing is that it's baby step every single day. So you're not going to get a huge amount of reward right away. It's literally baby steps, and the milestones and the achievements, the small little achievements, is what's going to become so addicting that you're going to want to keep going. And that's what's happened to me, where just someone subscribing to my channel makes me want to just keep making more videos. The closer that I get to 500 subscribers, the closer that I get to having 1,000 watch hours, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm making so much progress. There's no reason for me to stop now. So the last thing that we have to do in order to have a main character glow up and truly achieve our goals is that we have to find what we want, and we have to find the thing that we're also avoiding. Figure out what you want and who do you want to become, and figure out who you don't want to become. So I figured out for myself that not only do I have to envision a fantasy of myself, because me wanting to become a certain person I have never been before is a fantasy. It's a vision. It's a dream, right? Because it doesn't mean that I'm not going to get it. It means that I've never been there before for me to understand what it actually means. However, I also have to have a mix of reality. Who do I not want to become, right? I've been fat. I feel fat. So I know how that feels like. I've been poor. I've been broke. I know exactly how that feels like. I've had no purpose and no hobbies. I know exactly how that feels like. So when you have an understanding of the person that you don't want to become, you're going to do everything to avoid that. To not want to turn back and be like, I don't want to continue being a fat, broke, ugly looking person. I don't want to go back to that person that I used to be. I want to become this dream person that I've always wanted to be. This fantasy of a world that I want to create so badly for myself. And the thing is that, again, we use the inspiration of somebody bigger than us and being like, oh, they've achieved it, therefore I can achieve it too. It's just I've never had a grasp of what that even feels like for myself. So it's a fantasy, it's a dream, it's a vision. But we know exactly how it feels to be broke. We know exactly how it feels to be fat. We know exactly how it feels to be lazy and all this stuff. Like all the negative stuff, we know how it feels like. So use that as another reason to get you off of your butt and just continue going. because that's something that I do every single time when I'm thinking about my future, right? And I'm thinking about 3 years from now, because I'm always thinking about 3 years. Three years is like a huge milestone when it comes to YouTube, because that's what everyone says. Like, you'll see a bunch of growth in 3 years. So I'm like, okay, if I continue this in 3 years, I'm gonna have so much momentum and so much growth and so much, like, I'm gonna have exactly what I want. But if I'm not consistently putting in the work year 1, then year 3 is never gonna happen. So I have to show up for myself and create that dream person so that I can make it a reality. But how do I understand what that even looks like? It's a fantasy, like, and then you start creating this like disbelief in yourself of, I'm not gonna get it, who do I think I am, whatever, blah 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 blah, right? So you start doubting yourself. But you know who you would never doubt is the fact that you've been fat, the fact that you've been broke, the fact that you've never had and made anything for yourself. The person that you're trying to avoid, you know exactly who that is. It's like, maybe I don't know being rich and famous and having like my own business feels like, but I know exactly what that other feeling is. And you know what, even if I don't have all of that for myself, I know who I'm not going to become. And so it gives you some sort of like steer in the right direction from both sides, from the negative and the positive. And so it really keeps you aligned and it really keeps you focused. And it just drives me even more, because if I gain more weight, I know exactly how it feels like to be fat. If I lose weight, I know exactly how that feels like. I know it feels good. Even though I haven't been skinny in a really long time, since I was a teenager, I've never been skinny as an adult. I've never had confidence as an adult. So I'm like, I know how it feels like to have confidence a little bit more, to wear tank tops, because I've never worn tank tops as a child, even though I was skinnier back then. As an adult, I'm like, I can only imagine who I would become if I found this new confidence with wearing tank tops for myself at this weight that I am. I can only imagine. So if I keep going, I will probably be the prettiest person you've ever met. You know what I mean? Like, probably not, but you know, the fantasy. The glow up is what I'm talking about. So we want to figure out who we don't want to become, so it steers us closer and closer to the person who we want to become. Because once you grasp that reality of, this is what's gonna happen if I don't go after my goals, it scares you. It scares you to keep going. It scares you to keep trying. It scares you to keep chugging along and have that mindset of week 12 you. Because that's who I want to become. I want to become week 12 me. At this point, I've already been past week 12 me, because I've been doing this consistently for the past 3 months. So now it's more so of like, can I keep this momentum going? Can I figure out how to actually get there for myself? I leave you guys with that. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Charlie Silva. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Mwah.